S.Taylor Wonderland. 22 Jahre ist der Mann jung, er kommt aus Bolton, hat gestern seinen ersten Sieg auf einem European Tour Event gewinnen können. Er hat Andy Bolton bezwungen und wie gesagt, sein Nachname ist gar nicht so einfach damit umzugehen. Die Rede ist von S.Taylor. S.Taylor nimmt es mit dem BDO-WM-Finalisten aus dem Jahre 2014 auf. Der ist 2015 im Jahr darauf dann zur PDC gekommen und hat jetzt ein tolles Jahr 2016 gespielt. Ging los mit dem WM-Viertelfinale, hat ein Pro-Tour-Finale erreicht, hat einen 9-Darter geworfen und ist inzwischen die Nummer 28 der Welt. Die Rede ist von Alan Chuck Norris.
The unmistakable Alan Norris making a typically understated entrance to the Happy Bet German Darts Championship here at Halle 39 in Hildesheim to take on S.Taylor, a lad who won his first ever game on the European Tour yesterday, beat Andy Bolton in the very first game of this weekend. Flat 90 average and a 6-3 victory, put him through to the last 32 here in Hildesheim. Never been this far in a senior PDC ranking tournament as S.Taylor. This is uncharted territory for him, and maybe, who knows, maybe it'll just let him free himself up and play the darts he is capable of. We've seen him put in some very impressive performances on the Development Tour and the Challenge Tour. He's won a Challenge Tour title as S.Taylor. Certainly a lot of people think this lad has some talent, and well, I mean, he's being paid a rather large accolade by this packed German crowd because they were singing "There's only one Phil Taylor," I think. They might have changed the name to Scott for the song, but walking in Taylor Wonderland, you'll take that. Dan Dawson in the commentary box, Paul Nicholson alongside me. I can't imagine you've seen a great deal of S.Taylor in action.
First leg, it's Scott to throw first. Game on!
The first time I saw S.Taylor in action was at a qualifier, and he beat Ronnie Baxter to get through to Sindelfingen. I thought, like a lot of people, who's he? But we know who he is now. He's got a somewhat unconventional action, but one thing we know about darts these days is that sometimes the unconventional can be the best. It's almost a sling, isn't it? Comes from the right shoulder, and there's a lot of arm in it. There's not a lot of wrist.
He's not a player that brings the dart right in line with the eye. He doesn't look down the dart. Norris is a bit more classical in that respect. You can see him looking right down the barrel of it. He doesn't bring it right under his eye like, say, somebody like Andy Hamilton or Phil Taylor would. But you can see, whereas Taylor, I mean, you're not even sure if the dart is even in his eye line that much when he's pulling it back.
25.
Yeah, you've got to feel it's all about muscle memory for him and feel. Whereas with Norris, having white stems, I've spoken to him about this in the past, he likes to get the line of the stem in his eye. That's what a lot of the guys actually do. But with Scott, I think it's all feel.
36.
It doesn't matter how you throw him. Look at Mensah. We've seen some very odd actions over the years. Very odd stances. One of my favourites, Petri Korter. He was good. He used to hold his darts up
43.
in one hand and not hide behind them like he was playing a game of peekaboo.
The guy from Finland.
Yeah. He's good.
Yeah, we need more characters like that. He was good as well.
He was good.
140.
A lot of decent players from Scandinavia.
161.
Not seen a few of them for a while, the likes of Jarkko Kamula and Jarni Havisto. As Norris looks at the treble 17 for the bullseye. What a start this would be!
Ooh. 136.
Don't forget about the loudest man in the world, Marco Cantelli.
Needed the treble 16 there, S.Taylor.
51. Alan, you require 25.
So Norris to tidy this up. Double 8. Double 4 for a break.
17. Scott, you require 56.
16 for tops, it should be. What it is to nick the first leg in 20 darts.
36. Alan,
We've seen a few scratchy darts so far today, but we have seen some good ones. Darryl Gurney, very impressive in the last game. That flies back. He didn't pay for a ticket. Little charlatan.
It's very convincing fancy dress if it's one of the punters. Double two.
Game
There
shot on
it
the
is.
first leg.
No
Alan
flies on
Norris.
Alan Norris. 1-0.
Second leg is Alan to throw first. Game on.
Just imagine what it's like to sit on the double four
60.
and wait for the dart coming towards you. Be like Land of the Giants. Remember that show?
Yeah. You don't want to play a game of chicken on a double that any of these lads are trying to hit.
100.
Ein spielt die Hähnchen, as they say it in German. A game of chicken.
Do they say that? Have you just Google translated that?
I've just totally plucked that out of thin air.
96.
Alan Norris, a man who's only been with the PDC a couple of years
60.
now, but it was an explosive start to his PDC career. Hit a couple of 9-darters within a few days of each other.
140.
Smashed his way through Q School. Took him a little while then to settle. Sort of saw him put in his best display on the PDC in the European Tour event in
83.
Dusseldorf. He had a run to the quarterfinals there. And then, shortly afterwards, he went and won his first PDC title. Did that in Dublin that weekend before the Grand Prix, the one we've just had.
135.
Couldn't emulate it in Ireland this time around. He's struggled a little bit, if we're honest, over the last few months.
60.
I just don't think he's had any results to really speak of, but there's one thing you know about Chuck is that as he goes for tops here,
50.
not quite. He enjoys the game so much. Obviously doesn't want to lose any matches, but he's got a great attitude. The ability to just move on to the next challenge.
80. Alan, you require 20.
2 10s for a slightly better leg. To the west.
Game shot on the second leg. Alan Norris.
Word of the week is the west.
Third leg is Scott to throw first. Game
2-0
on.
Norris. Not really a shock at this point. Scott Taylor needs to get into that 60 pronto.
123.
I had a conversation with Alan Norris about 3 weeks ago. We're talking about his stems, and he told me that they've got
140.
this ability to just move when they need to. It's not one of those stems that where the flights keep twizzling around.
Yeah.
He showed me that
140.
what happens is if they collide with each other, there's no real bounce away. When the flights hit each other, it actually twists ever so slightly. It's quite a clever piece of kit.
41.
Yeah, I've had to play around with them myself. And it's, you know, those sort of spin stem things, a lot of them, they rattle around and they just spin round like a top on the end of it.
100.
But these ones are a lot, they've got a little bit of resistance, but not enough where it's going to make a difference. I mean, have you ever used the spin stems? Do you find it seems like
60.
6 of one, half dozen the
Scott,
other.
you
If you
require
put the dart in the right place,
138.
you don't want it deflecting away, but at the same time, you can have fortunate deflections if you've, you know, out of the one and into the treble 20. It's 6 of one, half a dozen the other for me.
Yeah, I think it puts a lot of people off with the twisting stem.
90.
But with these ones, I think they're designed just to absorb a little bit of collision. Because the way that Alan throws his darts, they go very close together. And sometimes he does need that little bit of absorption.
35.
Just so that he can potentially keep all three in the board, which on this occasion he wasn't able to do.
It does mean that Scott Taylor's got a good chance here to get a first leg on the board. Double 10 now.
Game
There
shot
it
on the
is.
third leg. Scott Taylor.
And when you look at
Fourth leg
Scott
is Alan
Taylor's
to throw
throw,
first. Game on.
you wouldn't want to get in the way of that dart. He throws it very, very hard.
Certainly does. Certainly does.
60.
Both these guys from the same manufacturer's stable. You see the logo on their shirts there, Target. Scott hasn't quite reached the profile of Alan yet, so I don't think he's got his own designed darts for him. That's when you know you're a proper dart player. Isn't it, Paul? And you've got your own business cards as
100.
well. And a
We shall
jotter
see, we'll
with your
see.
own logo on.
Yeah, next week we get those. They should be fun. But I think what he's using at the moment is a James Wade style dart.
They do look similar, yeah.
Very straight,
63.
conventional colouring, just natural tungsten. A little bit of black paint in the grooves.
41.
I'm sure the time will come when we will be looking at the Scott Taylor darts.
Well, that's what everybody wants to work towards.
121.
Well, he's stolen a march on Alan Norris in this one, and he's given himself an opportunity to break back and level the match at 2 apiece here.
You just get the feeling that Norris just needs to start again. He's had a good start. He's gone missing for the last sort of 3 minutes, and he's doing this very, very well.
180.
Well, anything less than the maximum there, and you would think Taylor might still be the favourite for this leg. But right now, Alan Norris is very, very
80.
capable of taking out a Shanghai finish. He must have done this
120.
thousands of times in competitive matches. Treble 20, single 20, double top for 3-1. For 300 points in 2 visits. Ooh, just below.
Scott, you require 103.
So, Scott, can you get this 103 and get back to 2-2? That leaves you 82. The bigger target is the treble 14.
55.
Not to be on this occasion.
Alan,
So Norris,
20.
after taking that little few second break, has hit a 180. Narrowly missed the 120.
Game shot
but
on the
takes out the
leg.
10s.
Alan Norris.
And it shows
Bit like it's Scott
maturity
to throw first. Game on.
and good experience. That he knows that, okay, things haven't happened in the last 90 seconds. I just need to step back, take a deep breath and say, right, off we go again.
134.
Yeah, he is capable of catching fire, is Alan Norris. When he went and won his PDC title in Dublin, I think it was 108 average he threw against Kim Huybrechts in the final.
100.
He can have these spells where he can, you know, he can trade it with the big boys in World Darts. I mean, obviously, he went and made the quarterfinals of the World Championship.
140.
And I'll be honest, for a lot of that game, he looked like he was going to make the semi-finals. It was only a real late burst to the final
45.
stages from Jelle Klaassen that just nipped in front of him and grabbed that semi-final spot.
That would have to be, in my opinion, the Norris Klaassen game in the
99.
top 3 games of all of last year, or even in the last 12, 18 months.
It was certainly a belter. It was a belter.
140.
But we've seen, you know,
Scott, you
we've
require
seen him at the Lakeside a number
128.
of times, and he's been involved in real high-quality battles with players. When he's on form, he can go toe-to-toe with pretty much anyone, Alan Norris. He is
48.
a classy dart player.
It's ever since he had that week where he made the final at Lakeside, he's really become a more consistent, more destructive player.
140.
That week when he made the final against
Scott, you
Stephen
require
Bunting,
80.
he was scoring 180s like you've only ever seen from the likes of Anderson and Van Gerwen and Chisnell.
Okay, double 10.
70. Alan, you require
Not the end of the world there
76.
hitting the tops, because it did mean it was a nice open bed for him. But he couldn't find it, and Alan Norris, if he finds double 8, well, that looks a decent guide.
Game shot
Yeah,
on the
good
fifth
stuff
leg.
from Alan Norris. It's 4-1 with another break of
Six-legged
throw.
Alan to throw first.
And Scott Taylor,
Game on.
well, his hopes of making the final day of action here at the Happy Bet German Darts Championship, they may be fading.
Alan Norris is the 19th in the order of merit for the European Championship, so he will
121.
be there. He's guaranteed. You've got to think that Alan Norris, in this game, he's got another agenda. The seedings were
42.
done for this tournament before the 10,000 points of that win in Dublin were taken off. So as it stands right now,
140.
he's going to have to go to qualifiers next year to try and get through to European events, and he doesn't want to do that. He wants to come in as a seed on a Saturday and play games like this. So
58.
the incentive to him for this weekend is to say, you know what, let's go as far as we can and make sure that I'm a seed come 2017.
Yeah, it's so important, isn't it? Because
100.
if you are a seed for just, say, half of the year, and there are 11 events next year, so if you're seeded for 5 or 6 events, that is a minimum 5 or 6 times 1,500 quid.
40.
Now, that
Alan, you
is taking
require
you up to
140.
potentially 9 grand, and that may well be enough to get you in the European Championship, which is another few grand. And this is all ranking money. You know, you have to, it's not easy to get in
100.
those seeded positions, but if you do, the rewards are immense. And that's why it's so, you know, you look at some of the names who haven't made it to the European Championship, who aren't going to be there.
137.
And it just
Alan, you
underlines
require
how
40.
important these European Tour events are, aside from the fact they're big tournaments with 25 grand prize money to the
Game
winner in
shot
front
on
of
the
massive
sixth leg.
crowds.
Alan Norris.
But
Look
Alan
what it
Norris
did
is
for
going
Steve
to-
Beaton.
Scott to
Well,
throw
quite.
first.
When he
Right.
won in
Game on.
Sindelfingen for the next 12 months, he was in every European event, and it did wonders for his career at that point in time.
Michael Smith has won 3 of these.
82.
And, you know, he's not won loads of other tournaments. It got him into the Premier League, essentially, by pushing him so far up the rankings. It got him into a load of other tournaments and gave him those opportunities. You know, it got him into the Grand Slam, and then he had a run there, his first,
43.
well, his best run at a TV event. They are immense platforms, these European tours, for these guys to go and show what they're about and build something in their careers. And so Scott Taylor is very much at the start of his PDC career. He's going to go to Q School next year and try and get his tour card.
140.
And he will know that the more of these that he can make, then the more doors will open for him and just give him the opportunity to show how good he could be.
With that in mind, I mean, you look at the first game of today, how important is that victory for Dave Pallett? Just for his season, he, by his own admission yesterday, said he's had a horrible season. But today,
58.
he gets through a tight one with Gerwyn Price. You never know, in the next few months, he could kick forward and start 2017 with a bang.
Oh, if he plays tomorrow, like he did do today, and if he's
55.
scoring in the, the number of 180s he's hit this weekend, I think he may have hit 10 this weekend in 2 games, Dave Pallett. And if he carries on doing that and he hits his doubles, then he's going to be a threat for this the whole tournament.
100.
And it's worth remembering, if anybody does go and win this that hasn't already won one, and we've got, what, two people who've won one in the field, Michael van Gerwen and Mensur Suljovic.
85.
Because Phil Taylor's not here,
James Wade's not here,
and James Wade's not here. Anybody who wins this weekend, it's not one of those two. They're in the Grand Slam, and there's more guaranteed money and another platform for them to go and show what they're about.
Scott, you require
More ranking money as well.
Yes, exactly.
Scott Taylor's got to take out this 1-2-1 to stay in the match. 11.
Oh.
Needed the big number. Went for the treble. In that scenario, I like the big 11. Just give yourself a chance at the ball.
60.
Now Norris has got 60 left. He could walk off stage after this dart. Will he? Yes, he will. Game over. Scott Taylor got the better of Andy Bolton yesterday, but he doesn't get the better of Andy Bolton's friend Alan Norris. Chuck goes forward, and his seeding chances for next season are still alive.
Yeah, they certainly are, and who knows, maybe Alan Norris can go all the way tomorrow, book his place in the Grand Slam and claim 25 grand. He will face either the artist Kevin Painter or Ian the Diamond White. That is the last game of this afternoon session at the Happy Bet German Darts Championship, where we move on to number 4, and it's the Force Justin Pipe, a man who's made a habit of making a succession of quarter-finals of ranking events of late as he takes on Simon Whitlock, who only very recently returned to the winner's circle on the PDC.
Wird auch auf das Board unterschreiben, was wir später noch verteilen werden. Alan, 6-1. Experience is important on the stage, right? Scott is a young lad, and yeah, just had a couple of matches on such a stage.
Yeah, he's got 20 years on me. He's got plenty of time. Wasn't a great game. Both of us struggled. I've not been playing good. Form's not been good, but yeah, happy with the win. So.
Yeah, through. Yeah, that's the most important thing. Alan, Chuck Norris. Are you actually a Chuck Norris fan, or is it just because of the name?
It's just chuck a dart, yeah?
Chuck the dart, okay.
Yeah.
Has nothing to do with the fighter, the Asian fighter.
Do I look like I can do karate?
Yeah, I think so, yeah. No. So good to see you tomorrow. Thank you very much. Alan. Oh, you speak German. I didn't know that. Oh. Alan spricht ein bisschen Deutsch. Das müssen wir das nächste Mal testen. Also, Alan Norris, er sagt, war kein gutes Match von beiden.